Sare Tirath bar bar, Ganga Sagar ek bar. All pilgrimages again and again, but Ganga Sagar just once. If you've ever heard this really famous ancient proverb, you might have caught yourself wondering what makes this one specific destination so incredibly singular. For most of us, the name just conjures up images of the massive Makar Sankranti festival, right? Just a vast, sprawling gathering of humanity. But Ganga Sagar is profoundly unique. It's way, way beyond just being a simple festival site. It's actually a place where spirituality, ancient philosophy, deep history, and just raw, untamed geography all crash together at exactly one singular coordinate on the map.
So welcome to This Explainer. Today we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey to deconstruct exactly why Ganga Sagar is counted among India's most sacred and historically significant sites. We're going to trace a path from the physical reality of the world's absolute largest delta, dive into the epic legends of ancient kings and sages, and finally arrive at a deeply symbolic, spiritual conclusion. So get ready, because we're about to see how geography shaped history, and ultimately how history shaped the soul.
Part 1. Where River Meets Sea, the macro view.
Okay, let's dive into this by starting with the breathtaking scale of the raw physical geography here, the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta. Now, Ganga Sagar is an island situated right at the exact threshold in West Bengal where Mother Ganga, after her incredibly long, winding descent from the towering Himalayas, finally meets the Bay of Bengal. But here's the thing, the mighty river's identity actually shifts and branches out along this journey. So, from the Farakka Dam down to the Malda region, the river is known as the Bhagirathi. Then, as it flows further downstream, it becomes the Hooghly. Meanwhile, the main branch that crosses into modern-day Bangladesh joins up with the Brahmaputra and takes on the name Padma. And this massive delta region, it's crisscrossed by even more tributaries, like the Ishamavati and the Kumar. Honestly, the sheer volume of water dispersing across this landmass is just staggering.
And as we know, all that water brings life. This region falls right within the world-famous Sundarbans, and nature has basically engineered this massive delta to be incredibly, almost unbelievably fertile. Over thousands of years, this natural fertility literally transformed the land into a thriving economic hub. Just think about the sheer abundance of this landscape for a second. We're talking packed with jute cultivation, vast, endless expanses of rice farming, coconut groves, sugarcane production, and a really flourishing fishing industry. It's essentially a powerhouse of agriculture and trade, perfectly positioned by nature.
Part 2. The Epic Legends, the Microview.
But, geography alone doesn't make a place sacred, does it? To really grasp its true gravity, we have to stretch our minds all the way back to the ancient era of the Treta Yuga. We're talking long before the Mahabharata, because the exact location of Ganga Sagar connects to a towering figure of ancient wisdom, Maharishi Kapil. It's widely believed that Kapil Muni's ashram was located right here, right on this very island. And today, there's actually a temple marking that exact spot. Now, if the name sounds familiar, Kapil Muni is the legendary founder of Sankhya philosophy. It's a profoundly deep system of thought that's detailed extensively in the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, his spiritual stature was so immense that Lord Krishna himself declares in the Gita, "Among the Siddhas, the perfected beings, I am Kapil Muni."
And this brings us right to the dramatic mythological sequence that truly defines this land. So, here's how the story goes. The great King Sagar of the Suryavanshi dynasty, who was an ancestor of Lord Rama, organizes this massive Ashwamedha yatna. But Lord Indra, playing the cosmic trickster, steals the sacrificial horse and secretly hides it right here at Kapil Muni's ashram. Eventually, King Sagar's sons track the horse down, but seeing it at the ashram, they make a massive, fatal mistake. They falsely accuse the sage, who is deep in meditation, of theft. Disturbed and completely enraged, Kapil Muni opens his eyes, and his fiery wrath instantly burns all of King Sagar's sons to ashes.
Now, because they were burned to ashes by a curse, the sons were completely denied spiritual liberation. Generations pass. After failed attempts by Anshuman and Dilip, King Bhagirath finally steps up. He performs this unbelievable, immense penance to bring the divine river Ganga down to earth, specifically to wash over their ashes and grant them moksha, or ultimate salvation. This relentless effort is so legendary, so deeply ingrained in the culture, that even today, any Herculean task is called a Bhagirath Priyas. His ultimate success allowed the Tarpan, the sacred offering to ancestors, to finally take place. And actually, this is exactly why that main branch of the river we looked at earlier is named the Bhagirathi, right, in his honor.
And we know this isn't just some localized folklore. The historical and spiritual gravity of this site, as the ultimate place for the liberation of ancestors, is so foundational that it's verified in the grand epic of the Mahabharata itself. Specifically, In the Vanaparva section, which details pilgrimages, Maharishi Lomash explicitly explains the profound significance of Ganga Sagar and Bhagirath's epic journey to Yudhishthira.
Part 3. Ancient Asia's Maritime Gateway, the Metaview.
So this land is clearly saturated with deep cultural memory. But its unique geographical position right at the edge of the ocean meant it also served as the primary launch pad for ancient India's maritime and economic power. When you think about the sheer, magnificent scale of these cultural routes, it's mind-blowing. From this specific maritime gateway, ancient voyagers, traders, and monks set sail across Southeast Asia. They traveled to Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Java, Sumatra, Cambodia. Think of it as the superhighway of the ancient world. And the thing is, they didn't just export goods, they exported entire civilizations. Through these very routes flowed the Sanskrit language, the teachings of Buddhism, and the unbroken tradition of Sanatan culture. They fundamentally shaped the heritage of the entire region.
Part 4. The Ultimate Spiritual Journey, Merging into the Supreme.
All right, so we've explored the raw geography, the legendary history, and the massive maritime legacy. But to truly, deeply grasp Ganga Sagar, we have to see how all of this builds into a final, beautiful philosophical takeaway. Because Ganga Sagar isn't just a place on a map, it's a profound living metaphor. Think about the physical journey first. You have this mighty river, after traveling hundreds of miles from the Himalayas, finally dissolving and merging completely into the vast, endless ocean. Now parallel that with the spiritual journey. It perfectly represents the living soul, the Jivatma, traveling through all the trials and tribulations of life to eventually merge with the Supreme, the Paramatma, achieving ultimate liberation, or moksha. Just as all rivers eventually vanish into the sea, all living beings eventually merge into the Absolute.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we have to return to our opening proverb. Sare tirat bar bar, Ganga Sagar ek bar. All pilgrimages again and again, but Ganga Sagar just once. It makes total sense now, doesn't it? Visiting Ganga Sagar is basically participating in this monumental convergence. When you're there, you are standing on the fertile soil of the world's largest delta, breathing the exact same air as ancient maritime explorers, honoring the legendary Bhagirath Prayas and Kapil Muni's ancient wisdom, and literally witnessing nature perfectly mirror the soul's quest for salvation.
Ganga Sagar holds the memories of the Vedas, the echoes of the Mahabharata, and the rich heritage of ancient India. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final, lingering thought. If the physical river's long, winding journey to finally merge with the ocean perfectly mirrors the living soul's journey to the divine, what is your ultimate destination? Take a moment to reflect on your own path. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible exploration.